Hello, my impatience. It is Andrew the Android Koloski here. I am live and I'm ready to perform for all of you. Somebody says, or actually Pete says, "What's up, bud? You got any exciting plans for the evening or the day?" To be perfectly honest with you, I have no plans for today. I have no plans for Sunday. I have no plans. Well, maybe NAMI Monday, but I got hardly any plans Monday. I got no plans. So that's unfortunate, obviously. No plans. But what are you going to do? You know, sometimes in life, there are things that will break your heart. And, but the key is to keep. I still have something on X, formerly Twitter, that said, no, TikTok. I'm sorry. It was on TikTok. Somebody says, I very much believe you can die of a broken heart. I very much believe you can die, but I think if you're betrayed by your parents, family, and friends, and um, you know, their betrayal can be so devastating that you can almost die of a broken heart in a way. You can almost just want to give up on life and you know everything, basically. Maybe not suicidal, but definitely just like if you find out everything has been just one big lie, one big gaslighting. um I don't know. Somebody said I'm a vegetable brain or a vegetable mind, or you know I have neurological damage, or I'm a pudding head. Yeah, I mean, if you say so. It is what it is. um Somebody says, I hope you can be more humble someday. How am I not humble? I don't know. I guess this person said that in response to one of my performative videos where I said I was the hottest guy alive. It's okay to be proud of how you look. And what else do I have to be proud of, right? What should I say? I'm like an ugly guy. I mean, I don't know. Pete says I'm too hot for YouTube. Thank you, Pete. I'm smoking. Thank you, Pete. Thank you. Thank you very much. Too hot for YouTube. Yeah, somebody says double tea bag in it today. Yeah, two oolong tea bags. Actually, believe it or not, this is actually a decrease in the amount of caffeine that I typically drink. You see two oolong tea bags, and you're thinking, oh, that's a lot of caffeine. Not really. I used to drink a lot of like this cold brew, which was loaded with caffeine. So actually, drinking two tea bags is a decrease in my typical amount of caffeine. So no, I'll be fine. Uh, Maybe I'll take a nap. Somebody asks, what am I going to do today? Maybe I'll take a nap. After this live stream, just lie down and What else is there to do? Is there anybody from Long Island out there that wants to hang out with me? I mean, ideally a woman, but I like my male friends, don't get me wrong, but ideally I want to hang out with a woman. Ideally, I'm looking for Somebody says the non-binary chick wanted to hang out. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe I should have hung out with her. That's a good point. Yeah, this I realize, my social media. I don't know if there was ever a golden era of the Sal Waters, Andrew Kolosky social media content, but lately it feels like it's just really on life support. This is just basically the slow and gruesome, the slow and drawn out death of a once, chipper and happy social media content. It's just maybe I could get happy again and revitalize it, but right now it's just like Pete says I should have never deleted my old channel. Well, Pete, I had some reasons I had to, because I didn't want to delete my old channel, quite frankly, but I also didn't want to wind up in jail at the psychiatric hospital, so I had to. I agree with you. If I didn't have, legal threats, I would have kept the channel. But believe it or not, even I'm not, even I'm not crazy enough to fuck risking like fighting with law enforcement. Like they say, if you fight the law is gonna win. So I could have kept the channel and kept making crazy content, but I'm like, you know what? No, just you gotta just just. I don't want to talk about this, guys. I know it's fascinating. I know it's interesting, but to be honest with you, this is something I just don't want to talk about on camera. And there's no reason for me to explain it and validate it on camera. So stop prying for information, please. Let's change the topic. Hey, Rusty, how you doing? How art thou, my impatient? Because I'm a blabbermouth and I probably will reveal too much. So, yeah. I took a walk. I got a Subway sandwich. I got a cheesesteak. Rusty says, Dave, how you doing, Dave? La 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 la. Pete asks, what happened to Chibi? Well, to be honest with you, Chibi was just reprimanding me too much, coming to my parents' defense too much, and I just couldn't take it. I just couldn't take. I'll give her a chance, and I'll give her a week ban and bring her back in a week. Somebody says she called you out on your delusions and you got upset, huh? I'll bring her back. I'm sure I'll bring her back in a week or two. I'm just gonna give her a week timeout, just because right now my mental health isn't great. Quite frankly, I'm fucking depressed. So I can't take people just saying, "Oh, you're the problem, you're the sole problem," even if it's true. Just no, enough. I go on these live streams for pleasure. I go on these live streams to feel like a rock star. And when people start criticizing me, I just start blocking people. I'm looking to have a good time here. I'm looking to have a good time. Pete says, you go onto these live streams hoping someone will feed into your delusions. And when they don't, you get upset. All right. If you say so. If you say so. Dave says, you can block us all. Doesn't mean you get rid of us. Erie says, what's making you depressed? Well, I mean, if I had to put it into words, I think the first thing off the top of my head is the lack of independence, the lack of intimacy, the lack of love in my life. I guess you could say my parents love me, but I want love from a romantic partner. And I feel like I've been involuntarily celibate for my whole life. I haven't had intimacy in years, and I really just want to hug a woman, cuddle with a woman, and that kind of thing. I think that's kind of what's got me down mostly. Somebody says, Andrew had to eat Subway sandwich today and not caviar. Clearly his parents are torturing him. Cheesesteak should be banned under the Geneva Convention, honestly. I actually enjoyed the cheesesteak, quite frankly. I realize it's fast food and not caviar and like the Ritz Club, the millionaires, billionaires club, but it was a fine sandwich. It was yummy. It was delicious. Maybe I should say, I'm starting the Subway diet, and I'm gonna, exercise. I'm gonna walk. Maybe I could get Subway to hire me as their spokesperson. Maybe I could tell them I lost all my weight. So he says, "Okay, Jared Fogle," laughing my ass off. Pete says, don't do the Subway diet. The last person who did that turned out to be sicko. Erie says, they already had one controversial spokesperson, Jared. Here's a funny story from many years ago. Believe it or not, Jared Fogle had like a wholesome goody two-shoes image, I guess. I mean, he's just a pitch man who was pitching a Subway sandwich. But when we discovered, Jared Fogle was a pedophile, my mom said, even Jared's a pedophile now, like some holier than thou, religious figure in a way. I'm like, yeah, I mean, you shouldn't look to a Subway spokesperson for your moral compass, Mom. I mean, like, why wouldn't you believe Jared could be a pedophile? I realize his image on the TV is that of a goody two shoes, but it's not like I could believe it. I mean, I could believe it. I mean, it's not like Jared Fogle is this high-ranking person in the church or whatever. It's like my mom's like, oh my god, even Jared's a pedophile now. Like how the mighty have fallen. Even a holier than thou Subway spokesperson was a pedophile. I'm like, Mom, this is kind of a joke, but this is a true story too. Even Jared's a pedophile now. How could that happen? Kind of like how she can't even believe Jared's a pedophile. Rusty says a high-ranking position in the church doesn't make the pedophile argument any better. Yeah, quite frankly, the church is known for harboring and covering up pedophilia. Yeah, that's that's a good point. I don't know why I don't know why I was looking to the church as people that wouldn't be pedophiles when, quite frankly, they had big scandals with pedophilia. So yeah, man. So he says, see, you used the church when it was convenient for your narrative. When do I use the church when it's not convenient for my narrative? Shadow's Revenge says Andrew will get his. Is that actually a picture of Shadow? I mean, in hindsight, I really love Shadow. I really did. I felt really bad about what happened. Um, you know, I felt guilty about what I mean. I mean, um, uh, I'm not going to talk about the dog sin, um, but I don't know. I felt it changed the way I saw the dog, but also I also it was also like I don't know. I just let's change the topic here. So he says, Andrew, what? Well, like, guys, can you stop trolling me? Somebody asks, I think the reason I developed those cysts are exercise at the gym. I think it's I think it's sweat. I'm kind of in Gala. They kind of have Shadow looking like the Joker. I mean, but they have the Shadow hat with the. Oh no! They have blood going. It's not the Joker. It's blood. I just rest in peace. Shadow was a good girl. She really was. I'll share some pictures. I mean, I feel badly. This is towards the end of Shadow's life, right here. This is towards the end of Shadow's life. Um, um, this is a picture of me with Shadow from. Let's find it. This is me with Shadow from 2009. And this is around the time, one sec. This is around the time this is around the time it happened. I'm not sure if it's before or after, but this is around that time. Apparently, it took place on December 15th, 2001. Somebody asks, no, I just feel badly, basically. I just feel badly. Yeah, she was just a puppy. This is probably, interestingly enough, I don't know if this is, yeah, but yeah. So he says 9/11 in the Dogson. What a year. So this is December 15th, 2001, a day that will live in infamy. Burner Burns said, do a little. Now, guys, quite frankly, I learned the lesson. And yeah, I'm not. That's yeah. I learned the lesson that's what it ain't, guys. That's what it ain't. That is what it ain't. So he says, "You weren't even mentally ill in that photograph. Why don't you tell me the truth? Why don't you tell me the truth?" All right. Dun, 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 dun. Speaking of pictures, this is me with my grandfather on June 18th, 2005, apparently. So, I noticed the red ball. I remember this was actually one of the pictures that triggered me into getting physical with my mother. Interestingly enough, Joseph Reuter was his name. Because I noticed his hand was by his, what, and behind my shoulder is a red ball, which indicates Satan, and then there is me with a blue bocce ball, blue ball. And I started to think, was he running a pedophile ring? And that's where my mind went. Um, um, no, this is 2011, June 2011. This and my mother was confronting me about scanning the pictures. Yeah, it was a real nightmare. Yeah, this is one of the pictures that caused that. So. I also, interestingly enough, prior to the HIV scare, I thought I was dying of HIV in 2011. I don't know why I thought I had HIV and I was dying, but I'll share with you photographs of that. This is me waving goodbye. I thought I was literally passing away from HIV because the pedophiles had given me HIV. And this was me waving goodbye to everyone, like, bye bye, I'm dying of AIDS. And yeah, I got more pictures of me waving goodbye. This is me waving goodbye. Bye bye, I'm dying of AIDS. Bye bye, I'm dying of AIDS. Bye bye, I'm dying of AIDS. No, this is 2011. This is February 17th, 2011, apparently. Somebody says, in all fairness, you do look like you have AIDS in these. Fair point. I was real skinny. I'll share with you some of the skinny pictures. Some of the pictures where I lost a lot of weight. Because I think a lot of people might be interested in that. Here we go. So here's one. This is me. I think this is my birthday. Maybe it's 2008. I noticed this is another picture that yeah, it's my birthday, and I noticed there's actually a knife, and right here, look right there. I noticed there's a knife, and I noticed right here it's like they're cutting off my oh. So this is another picture that triggered me getting physical with my mother. Interestingly enough. And this is me. This is me in Florida in 2006. Apparently, I was really skinny, as you can see. My sexy, death camp like physique. And I'll share with you the pictures, scanned with a different camera. Right here, this is me really skinny. And I noticed the knife. The reason I think it's 2008 is because right here I have my XM player and I would listen to the Opie and Anthony show. So I think it's 2008. And where's the other picture? Right here. This is the other death camp picture. I'll share with you. This is me on the sofa in 2007. This is an iconic picture from internet forums back in the day. This is me on the sofa in 2007, September 16th, 2007. People remember this picture from back in the day. And I'll share with you another one. And I think this is June 3rd, 2008. You can see my pathetic and puny arms in full display here. My pathetic and puny arms. So he says, have you ever considered getting bionic limbs? Why would I get a bionic limbs, Spirit? This is me in June 3rd, 2008. So I said, Ari asks, did any girls have a crush on you in high school? I was very self-conscious. I was very insecure in high school. And I was very insecure in high school, and I remember there were girls who sat next to me, but I was just really self-conscious. So the answer is probably no. Yeah. I think the answer is no. Yeah, correct. Somebody wants to know if Shadow was the dog sin was the only dog sin. Yeah. Shadow, yeah. Somebody asks, what does the dog sin even mean? All right. Let's get out the Dr. Garrett email here. Dog sin. Dog sin. From Michael Garrett. Okay. So I said the dog lick. And I sent this to Dr. Garrett on February 9th, 2017. You are probably aware that recently I've been getting the I was sexually abused as a child delusions. But the trauma might be the dog lick. When I was in high school, year 2002, there was an incident with the golden retriever. I really, really regret it. In fact, I regret it so much that I felt like it was the worst decision of my life. It was so traumatic. I felt such guilt over it. I remember feeling like the best part of my day was sleep, and I felt like being awake was torture. It felt like the dog guilt was all I could think about. I felt unclean, corrupted, impure, damaged. I was so ashamed of who I was. I felt like I was inferior to other people. I remember wishing I was like the other kids. I remember wishing things could go back to the way they were before the dog lick. I remember praying to God every night, please help me forget the dog sin. I even went to confession and I told the priest about it since it ate me up so much and I didn't want to go to hell. It was very hard for me to do, and I was the only one. He was the only one I told for years until I entered college. At one time, the dog lick might have been the hardest thing for me to talk about. I remember it felt like I was carrying a big weight on my shoulders. I felt like I couldn't tell anyone and it was eating me up inside. Thankfully, I was able to express it in an email text message. From there, it became easier and easier to say. Although it happened nearly a decade and a half ago, 2002, I still feel the trauma from it. And then the next one is called Sex for the First Time. I was a virgin until I was 24 years old, and I was so ashamed and frustrated about it. I remember in college thinking the whole world was having sex except for me. I was too scared to talk to women, but I really wanted sex, and I thought it was what I needed. Because I thought sex for the first time would transform me, it would calm me down, make me a different person. I thought it would make me an adult. In my head, I built sex up to be this grandiose, life-changing moment. It wasn't. Again, the first time I had sex, I was 24 years old. It was in 2012 after my psychiatric hospitalizations. After explaining to her I was a virgin, I failed to perform, probably due to the psychiatric medication I was on. It was so embarrassing. I told my psychiatrist at the recovery group about my sexual dysfunction, and he basically ignored it. He said something like, human sexuality is a complex thing. And he told me to go to my primary care physician for Cialis, which I did. And with a little assistance, the next time I managed to have intimacy. It was a long road getting to that point. Although I did enjoy it, I was also a little disappointed because sex couldn't live up to the hype I created in my head. And afterwards, I was pretty much exactly the same. I now see it's not that big of a deal. Fast forward to present day. Although I'd like to have sex, I'm not fixated on it. If I'm not having it, I'm not obsessed like I was back then. Back then, I feel like I needed sex. I learned sex is very overrated, and I even take pride in the fact that I was a 24-year-old virgin. The new sexual shame is poor sexual function in the psychiatric medicine. It's humiliating. And Dr. Garrett said on February 9th, 2017, Andrew, as we discussed, I expect to be able to read notes of this length you have sent me last week and this one. I look forward to receiving them. There is much to talk about in process. I think you put it sufficiently. You feel a strong internal pressure to protest an injustice. The pressure cannot be simply silenced. We must examine it, see where it draws its persistent energy. The pressure surely rises in significant part from the bullying. We will talk about the dog story. Easy for me to say, and I say this hoping it can be of some comfort to you, but there is no crime against dogs or humanity here. But you were deeply affected by that experience, and we will go into that also, rather than brush it aside. Dr. G. So that's that's an email. So that's an email I exchanged. So he says, if Dr. G says it was okay, it must be okay then. Somebody says, that's rough. That's rough. So he says, I'm the big dog. Oh, 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 oh. Somebody says, Dr. G wanted you off meds and on to dog sin. Yeah, I guess so. All right. Pete says, Dr. Garrett might have been a pervert. Sometimes I wonder if he was secretly, getting off on my emails. I don't know. There's just a suspicion. He says he was not, though. Somebody says, I wonder if psychologists get a funny tingle from their patients. Yeah, imagine you. I mean, they're human beings after all. Imagine you're like a like 60-year-old doctor, and some 20-something-year-old woman who's an OnlyFans model comes in and starts telling you about the naughty things she was doing. I think it would be natural to, you might say, oh no, I'm here to help you make a mental health recovery. I'm here to, but I think it might be natural to, I don't know, it's kind of like my song Confession, Now let me perform that for you. Basically, it's somebody who says, I am. Yeah, let me perform Confession. It's been a while since I performed this song. Are you ready for confession? I'm gonna teach you some lessons. Are you ready for confession? I'm gonna teach you some lessons. Hello, attractive woman. I am your priest. You can disclose all your sins to me. To me. You've been a naughty young woman. Do you care? You need to say prayers. You need to atone for your sins. I am the priest. You must atone for your sins. Are you ready for confession? I'm gonna teach you some lessons. Hello, attractive young woman. I am your psychiatrist. You can tell me your deepest, darkest secrets. You can disclose all your traumas. Tell me how naughty you've been. I don't know. So he says, this isn't very good. All right. It's one of my songs. It's one of my songs, Spirit. So he says, weak. Channel says, I was feeling it, not going to lie. So he says, my singing was good. Oh, I meant the teabag missed the garbage. There we go. It went in there. Are you ready for confession? I'm gonna teach you some lessons. Are you ready for confession? I am your psychiatrist. You accuse me of getting off from your pain and suffering, but that's not so. I'm like a robot. I do not get pleasure from your suffering. I'm here to help you make a mental health recovery. Do you want to get into heaven? Well, you got to be ready for confession. All right. Is that a Pikachu I see? Yes, that's a Pikachu, Paul. That's a Pikachu. Are you ready for confession? I'm gonna teach you some lessons. I am the priest of higher authority. You must atone for your sins. Tell me how naughty you've been. Somebody asks, have I ever thought about putting out an album? Yeah, I would love to put out an album with songs. I thought about going over to Paradise Studios, paying some money and recording an album, but I need to record it with better equipment. I definitely got the songs to do so. Are you ready for confession? I'm gonna teach you some lessons. Are you ready for confession? I am the priest. Should I set up my DSLR and do a take of I am the priest? Somebody says, yeah, set up the DSLR. All right, here we go. Don't be scared that daddy's off the camera. All right, here we go. I'll do 3 songs for you guys. I'll do 3 songs. Maybe I'll do The Love of a Doggy for you too. Okay, we'll tilt this over here. Pika Pika! Check out Pikachu up there. Here we go! Here we go! All right. I'm getting ready, guys. Okay. Are you ready for confession? I'm gonna teach you some lessons. Are you ready for confession? I'm gonna teach you some lessons. Hello, attractive young woman. I am your priest. You can disclose all your sins to me. To me. Tell me how naughty you've been. It seems you've been a very naughty girl, attractive young woman. Do you care? You need to say prayers. You need to atone for your sins. Atone for your sins. Tell me how naughty you've been. I am your priest of higher authority, divinely sent. Do you care? You need to say prayers. It enrages me. What a naughty young woman you are. You're such a sinner, and it makes my blood boil. It makes me hot all over because I'm angry. I am your priest. Respect me. Now she goes to therapy. Hello, attractive young woman. I am your psychiatrist. You can divulge all your traumas and pain to me. You see, I want to help you make a mental health recovery. I want to help you get healthy. Oh, attractive young woman, I do not get off on your pain and suffering. I am like a robot. Are you ready for confession? I'm gonna teach you some lessons. I'm gonna help you heal from your traumas. You accuse me of getting sadistic pleasure from your pain and suffering. But that's not so. I'm here to help you make a mental health recovery. I am your psychiatrist, extremely professional. I'm like a robot. I don't get those perverted thoughts and feelings like you. What you're actually doing is you're projecting onto me. You're projecting your sexual perversity onto me. You see, I'm just here to help you recover. I'm here to help you heal. I am your psychiatrist. All right. You got anybody have another request for me? Well, what's another song I can do? Okay, let's do the love of a doggy. The love of a doggy is really, really good. The love of a doggy I love more than I should. When you're in mental health recovery groups and you're feeling depressed, they say pet the dog. Play with the dog. It will release endorphins in your brain and get you out of your fog. The love of a doggy is really, really good. The love of a doggy I love more than I should. Dogs are only here for love. Dogs are only here for happiness. Dogs are only here for love and joy to the world. Dogs are only here for love. Dogs are only here for happiness. Dogs are only here for love and joy to the world. The love of a doggy is really, really good. The love of a doggy I love more than I should. When you're feeling down, when you're feeling sad, pet the dog, play with the dog, cuddle with the dog. It will release endorphins in your brain and make you less insane. It will make you happy. It will give you pleasure. The love of a doggy is really, really good. The love of a doggy I love more than I should. All right. And one more, guys. I got to do things in bursts of 3. One more song. I get knocked down, but I don't want to do. Somebody wants me to do Chumbawamba tub thumping. I get knocked down. No, what's another song I could do? I can act something out. Someone wants me to take your medication, Roger. You want me to take your medication, Andrew or Roger? Take your medication, Andrew or Roger? Which one? They want Roger. All right. Take your medication, take your medication. Andrew, take your medication, take your medication. Andrew, there's a man named Andrew. He has schizophrenia. All his friends and family want him to take a mega regimen of psychiatric medications. He takes pill after pill. Yum, yum, yum. Day and night. Yum, yum, yum. Take your medication, take your medication. Andrew, take your medication, take your medication. Andrew, after taking his meds compliantly for about 10 years, Andrew had enough. He thinks he's being pharmacologically abused. He stops all his medication. Take your medication, take your medication. Andrew, take your medication, take your medication. Andrew, off of his antipsychotics and mood stabilizing medications. Andrew's scary to be around. His parents and family avoid him. His friends have all gone away. They all say, take your medication, take your medication. Andrew, take your medication, take your medication. Andrew is hospitalized and ordered to take some meds. But then he discontinues the meds. He puts his foot down. He's setting boundaries. He says, I don't want to take my medication, damn it. But they all say, take your medication, take your medication. Andrew, take your medication, take your medication. Andrew. They say, Andrew, if you resume your meds, your relationship with your parents and family will improve. Your friends may come back. The reason you're solitary, the reason you can't function as an independent adult, the reason your life's in the gutter is because you're not taking your medication. Take your medication. Andrew, take your medication. Take your medication. Andrew, take your medication, take your medication. Andrew, take your medication, take your medication. Andrew. All right.